Days in a second, Scotty.
Why not? Float it down.
Do you want to go up to taking a few questions from the floor before we keep it?
If you can stand it, I'll try.
Yeah. Anyone?
Do you remember your modelling through the chasing of the models or the actual launching and building? What I'm trying to say is you've put a lot of effort into retrieving and getting to places to fly them and doing all that, and always taking them home, often taking them home broken. Do you remember how hard that was? Do you remember?
Oh, no. I like to see when they get away and go up in the air, you know.
Yeah, that's the bit you remember.
Doing what you intended it to do. That's the nice thing.
You were very positive. Very positive. Yeah.
Well, so I used to, sometimes I'd get home for lunch without my model, and then they'd be waiting for me. They'd say, "Oh, your model's down at Auburn or something like that."
Yeah.
I got a phone call before I got home.
Yeah.
And I said, I found people around Sydney very honest anyway.
Yeah. Which are some of your best friends in Victoria that you met and flew with? Who are Normie Bell would have been somebody you flew with, would it?
Normie Bell flew down here,
Yeah.
in Sydney, here with Jack Finnan, he died recently. He was a good modeller. He made the first power modeller in Australia.
Right. Yes, you.
Jim, could you tell us about this? And I believe you were rather successful with this last year.
He won me a bottle of wine.
Well,
Red or white?
Wow,
This is Langley. Now this was built in 2003, wasn't it? And they have the centuries of the Wright brothers. And I thought, well, everybody would be building Wright plant. I'll build a Langley. I've done anything about it. Went into the public library. And you've got a book on anything about Langley in his aeroplane. Just a minute, she said, well, we'll go back to the whatever it is. He comes back with, what's it called now? I've got a copy at home. I don't know, he researches in a model aeroplane by Langley and Manley. And look at this, and I could have kissed her. I said, "Lady, you hit the jackpot." Got all the plans of his models in.
Yeah, really?
He could even build his engine out of it, I think. He was a bit unlucky, a bit more luck. He would have beaten the Wright brothers to it. Because the thing was capable of flying. He made two models, but they weren't insignificant. A 12-foot span and weighed 25 pounds, and they were driven by flash steam. This was 1896.
Oh, right.
And they flew like birds. He flew off a houseboat in a lake somewhere in the USA.
Potomac River, I think.
Potomac River, was it? Yeah. Went up, he flew around the circle, and the power burnt out. It glided down safely to the lake.
Yeah.
And that was. Have you ever seen a flash steam model go?
No.
Well, they're terrifying things. not just a boiler with a light underneath it. The boiler is a coil of copper or steel tubing, and you have a blow lamp right going through this, and it really generates some power. They roar like a building or something.
Yeah.
You would even have two fire lamps.
Two steam driven models, and they were both successful. He was prepared to give up then. Alexander Graham Bell was with him, and he said, anyone who's seen this flight today would no longer doubt that the future of manned flight in cycle, words to that effect.
Yeah.
But when he went on his full-size one, he made a big mistake. He one thing, if I catapult off a barge, he put wheels on it, he would have flown.
Yeah,
Well, the wings might have collapsed because you might have got a short flight
Yeah.
before the wings collapsed.
Jim, would I be right in guessing that that won the state championship last year?
Not the last time, the year before.
okay.
Not the state championship, we had a big end of year scale meeting.
yeah.
And,
And that flies indoors, does it, Jim?
yeah.
Mm. Were you happy with the trim you got on it?
Very stable.
Very stable. Yeah, it's got a lot of wing area, isn't it?
Flies terribly slowly, very slow, stable thing.
Yeah.
Because that was Langley's aim, automatic stability. The pilot was just there, like in a boat, to steer it.
Yeah.
The pilot didn't have to fly it, he just gave a bit of right rudder, a bit of up or a bit of down.
Yeah.
He was supposed to let the plane fly itself, but never quite got that far. Pilot sat in here. I've got him out.
Bit of makeup.
The wrong way. I think you these two control wheels. One for up and one for turning.
I think it's a beautiful looking little aeroplane, isn't it? I can just see somebody here making an electric version about twice the size and it'd be very nice.
That's your homework, Greg. I want to make the steam version.
Long
No, CO2.
I've got all the plans to make the real thing. I've got a book with all the plans in.
Alex has got photos anyway, we'll get plans of his photos.
In 1914, his assistant Charles Manley wrote up all the details of all the experiments, models, and the petrol engine model of 1903 and the full-size aerodrome. He was called the Memoir on Mechanical Flight.
That might
And you
be the
can
book
still
I've
get.
got.
Yeah, it is the book you've got. I got it. You can still get them. You can get the facsimile editions on the internet. I bought one about 10 years ago or so. Memoir on Mechanical Flight by Charles Mann. It's got the drawings of the engines. He got bogged down in a welter of complexity, just too. Langley wasn't an engineer, he was an astronomer. And he didn't have the practical flair that the Wright brothers had.
Oh, yeah.
He used paid workmen to do all his machine shop work, and he'd had arguments with them, and I think it says somewhere, read somewhere he'd be striding around the workshop having arguments with his workmen over the way he wanted things done, because he was all a little bit behind the eight ball. His design had too many structural weaknesses. The main spar is too far forward. He's got too much of the wing area outside the area of the bracing. And the upper bracing wires are much too flat. He thought you just had to support the wing against the flight loads underneath, support it underneath, but he didn't understand that the upper bracing wires play a function also. So he was all
Curtis dug it up and flew it successfully later, but he did make some alterations. And I think one of those alterations he put
a
a
much
high,
taller bracing cabine for the upper bracing. Yeah, that's one thing that Curtis did in his controversial modifications.
Sorry.
That's one.
Jim, in New South Wales when you were young, was it very organised, the flying, or was it just...
oh no, the big thing happened when that baby ROG came out. Norman Lyons was promoting the Boys Club of the Air then, and they brought this design back from America. I think Ross Hull brought it back actually.
Yeah.
And he promoted it. This was in July 29, I think.
Yeah.
And he got such an instantaneous response to it. They repeated it, and he formed the Model Aeroplane Association the next year, and they were a mushroom for a while. There was also clubs all over the place, Waverley Wasps and Daintyville Eagles and Mossman Moths and Cremorne Camels, and all. I was in the Bondi Black Hawks.
Right.
It sort of petered out later, though. There was a big movement in the early 30s.
Yeah, in the 30s, right.
We need club names like that, I reckon. What do you reckon?
Yeah.
Black Hawks.
So there was actually an association and the clubs were actually like working as a group like our MAAA sort of.
Yeah, we were all members of the Model Aeroplane Association.
Yeah.
And then there was a rival set up called the
Oh, you were
Model
going to
Flying
bring
Club.
me in.
Wasn't
Yeah.
organised by this promoter bloke, Ivor Freshman, this real sort of spoof sort of.
He did a lot of damage, yes.
Right. And sorry, when did you come to Melbourne? What years did you come?
1941,
Oh, during the war.
yeah.
Yeah, right. Did it? Because I always believed that aeromodelling had a real boost after World War II. Lots of people got involved after World War II, and in the early 50s things went pretty sort
Yes,
of
of
huge.
course, Control Line came in and
Yeah.
they were very active then, and we had some good competitions
Yeah.
in 49 and 50s.
Yeah.
Wakefield teams.
Yeah,
Six.
yeah. That Wakefield class is a really it's a technical class, isn't it? You know, you've got to know an awful lot about trimming and
Yeah,
setting up your model to be
design,
even
yeah.
competitive. Yeah. I don't know how you ever did it, and then the possibility of breaking it when it lands. Oh. I mentioned the thermalisers before. The other question I want to ask you about the thermalisers: how did you operate them in the early days?
There were big arguments about that. By far the best thing was the fuse.
A fuse.
But of course they got banned because it started a few fires.
Yeah.
But the fuses were very reliable, they never went out, and you knew how long they were going to burn.
I think Carl
Does everybody know what a thermalizer is? It's a pop-up tail. It's just a release of the tail, pops up about 45, and the model does an instant stall, sits there like that and just floats down to the ground. So that when you're up about 300 feet, you're going to lose it or chase it for miles. It cuts you running down to about 200 or 300
A
yards.
very anxious time when mine was way over there and way up there. Is the TTC going to work?
Is it going to work? I bet you.
If you've been down here on a Sunday watching Graham, he's found that he has to use the DT on some of his bigger rubber models, and they'll be just heading for those rotten gum trees out in the footy field, and you'll see the tail pop up and then the thing sort of just wafts down like a big leaf.
We came in during the war in America, really. The American government, for defence purposes, said models were still allowed to fly, but they mustn't exceed 10 minutes. There were all sorts of inventions, and it was for dethermalising short of 10 minutes. Went on from there.
Yeah.
Carl Goldberg who invented the pop-up tailplane.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right.
Well, there you are.
I thought it was before the war. actually, in the late-
No, during the war. it was.
Too much spare time during the war, I'd say.
All right, folks.
Well, that's pretty interesting, Jim.
Yeah. Let's put our hands together for Jim, and he's got a beautiful. Thanks heaps, Jim. He's got a beautiful collection of models here. In a second, we can take the time to come and have a look at this thing particularly. It's really something special. I didn't know that it flew until you said it, and I'm amazed. It's beautiful.
I think there was a kit like an indoor rubber kit version of that being produced in the US some years ago. I looked it up. I forget the name of the.
Not Hobby King.
No,
I hope not.
it's the perfect thing for electric power. You can have propellers at scale size.
Fabulous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's that one called again?
Langley
Langley's Aerodrome.
Yeah,
I think
called
it's Aerodrome A, I think it was. He had he called them aerodromes. Like, apparently it's from the Latin word that means air runner. With aerodrome now it's an airfield, but there's it's also called the Great Aerodrome.
Yeah. Shows you how far back it was.
Oh, I better pack up and have to get on to the wedding.
Let's have a look at some models.
Pardon the motor.
No, you can get packed up if you like, Jim. I'm gonna try and set a new world record for the shortest special general meeting in the history of aeromodelling. All those in favour say aye.
And Jim, we'd like to welcome you down any Saturday afternoon. You want to come down and spend an hour watching what's going on, we'd love to have you down here. I'm sure you could tell us a lot more things.
I'll get rid of these things.
No, we won't do that to you.
That's cool. And Andrew, if we can, I want to know when that thing's flying, when and where it flies again, the language, because I want to see it.
Yes, well, it was.
Yeah.
Coming down at Andrew came
Here's the pelican turned up here.
Yeah, that'd be.
Yes, here's
love to see that.
and this is the plans of the Canard flying boat that I came out, Model Builder magazine in 90.
Right. Does anyone here speak Czechoslovakian?
Okay.
Oh, you've got the book